यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी शोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे श्री राधा माधव ललिता विशाखा की श्री जानकी और लक्ष्मण हनुमान की श्री गौर निताय की श्रील प्रभुपाद की समावेत भक्त वृंद की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद्भागवतम की ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनाम्ने गौरत्विषे नमः। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोऽस्तुते तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये। नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Please all of you repeat this verse. Tasmin vav kila sa ekalah pulaha shramopavane vividha kusuma kisalaya tulasi kambubihi kandamula फलोपहारैश्च। समीहमानो भगवत आराधनं विविक्त उपरत विषयाभिलाष उपभृतोपशमः परां निर्वृत्तिम् अवाप। तस्मिन्, in that ashrama, Vavakila, indeed, Saha, Bharat Maharaj, Ekalaha, alone, only. That means he was alone in that ashrama. Pulaha Ashrama Upavane. In the garden situated in Pulahashrama. Vivida Kusuma Kisalaya Tulasika Ambubihi. With varieties of flowers, twigs and tulasi leaves, as well as with water. Kandamula Phala Upaharaihi. By offerings of roots, bulbs and fruits. Cha and Samihamanaha. Performing Bhagavataha of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Aradhanam. Worshipping. Viviktaha. Purified. Uparata. Being freed from. Vishaya Abhilashaha. Desire for material sense enjoyment. Upabrita. Increased. Upashamaha. Tranquility. Param. Transcendental. Nirvrittim. Satisfaction. Avapa. He obtained. Translation purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki. In the gardens of Pulahashrama, Maharaj Bharat lived alone and collected a variety of flowers, twigs and tulsi leaves. He also collected the water of the Gandaki river, as well as the various roots, fruits and bulbs. With these, he offered food to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva, and worshipping him, he remained satisfied. In this way, his heart was completely uncontaminated, and he did not have the least desire for material enjoyment. All material desires vanished. In this steady position, he felt full satisfaction and was situated in devotional service. Everyone is searching after peace of mind. This is obtainable only when one is completely freed from the desire for material sense gratification and is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Worship of the Lord is not at all expensive. One can offer the Lord a leaf, a flower, a little fruit and some water. Supreme Lord accepts these offerings when they are offered with love and devotion. In this way, one can become freed from material desires. As long as one maintains material desires, he cannot be happy. As soon as one engages in the devotional service of the Lord, his mind is purified of all material desires. Then one becomes fully satisfied. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir dokshaje ahaitukya pratigata yayatma suprasidati vasudeve bhagavati bhakti yoga prayojitah janayatyashu vairagyam jnanam cha yadahaitukam. The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which men can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. By rendering devotional service unto the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, one immediately acquires costless knowledge and detachment from the world. These are instructions given in Srimad Bhagavatam, the supreme Vedic literature. One may not be able to go to Pulahashrama, but wherever one is, one can happily render devotional service to the Lord by adopting the process mentioned above. So very happy to be here at the lotus feet of Sri Radha Madhava and the association of all the Kanpur devotees. It looks like an ocean of youths here. Huh? Very amazing. So under the capable guidance of His Grace Devakanandan Prabhu, Premanandam Prabhu, Yelamani Krishna Prabhu and a team of youth preachers in Kanpur, such very powerful youth preaching is happening. When this temple was made, the hall used to be very big, and me and Premanandam Prabhu often would be talking about how this is such a big, vast land, here 14-acre land, such a huge property, When will the time come when this temple hall will be flooded with youths? Now it is practically happening now. So when Premanand Prabhu came from Pune, the team of devotees, in those days only he and the team of brahmacharis would be sitting and having meetings, and a handful of them. And many boys were still in the college, and many were passing out and going to different places. And Kanpur is not like Bangalore or Hyderabad. You can all the boys come for jobs here. Still, preaching was very challenging in the early days here. Without practically no support. These devotees have worked very hard. Premanand Prabhu, Neelam Krishna Prabhu, Priya Govind Prabhu, Kurma Avatar Prabhu, Radheshyam Prabhu, and many other devotees. So they have been always Dina Din Gopal, what's the name? Dinanath Gopal Prabhu. So in this way, they all there were a few years when they were a handful of them running this project under for Devakiran Prabhu's pleasure. Now the preaching has expanded in a very big way. Very happy to see all of you. And this morning we are discussing on Bharat Maharaja's devotion to Lord Krishna and his detachment which he developed very naturally. So here it says, everyone is searching after peace of mind. This is obtainable only when one is completely freed from the desire for material sense gratification and is engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. So later on Prabhupada says here, as long as one maintains material desires, he cannot be happy, he says. And as soon as one engages in devotional service of the Lord, his mind is purified and becomes satisfied, then he is happy. For example, if you take a brick in the hand and keep it like this, any of you can catch it, very easy. But keep this brick in your hand for 3-4 minutes, what will happen? It appears that the brick's weight is increasing. Is it increasing? The weight is same. But you find it difficult to hold it. You feel like dropping it. Isn't it? So material desires also are like that brick. Material desire, if you have it, it's not a problem. But you have to get rid of it by substituting it with spiritual desire. If you don't do that, over a period of time, material desires become heavier and heavier. They become heavier. Therefore, what is the 10th offense against the holy name? To maintain material desires, even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. Now, what is a material desire? Atmendriya priti vanchatare balikam Krishnendriya priti ichadhare premanam. Which means any desire separate from Krishna for one's own enjoyment. Some enjoyment program which has no connection to Krishna, independent of Krishna. That is called material desire or sense gratification. And any program that is meant for pleasing Krishna, that is spiritual desire. Krishnendriya priti cha dhare premana. Very simple definition. So, any desire to please Krishna is like gold. Any desire to enjoy separate from Krishna is like iron. Both are metal, but gold is valuable, iron is insignificant. So, any desire that is meant for pleasing Krishna means Krishna is the center. You bathe Krishna, you dress Krishna, you decorate him with ornaments and celebrate festivals for him, sing for him, dance for him, cook for him. That is spiritual desire. And if people think, I am the center, like Ravana thought or Hiranyakashipu thought, Kamsa thought. And it is not that only big asuras can think like that. Even we can think like that. We also have experience of how sometimes we want to be the apple of eye of everybody. We want to be in the middle and we want everything to revolve around us and we want everyone to be at our beck and call. So that type of self-importance, modern day civilization is called I, me, mine civilization. I, me, mine. meh, 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 meh. That kind of civilization where one considers oneself very important. So that is the reason why in this world living beings are all fighting with one another because everybody wants to be at the center and everybody wants to dominate others. So that is the cause of all our suffering, he says here. So we are all searching for peace of mind, but how can we attain that peace of mind? So I'm going to show you a PowerPoint now. See, this is Bharat Maharaj. This Bharat Maharaj, he was son of Rishabhadev. Rishabhadev had 100 sons, and the senior-most of all the sons was Bharat Maharaj. After whom the country of India came to be called as Bharat. Before that, our country's name was Ajanaba Varsha during Rishabhadev's time. After that, it came to be called as Bharat Varsha. So Bharat Maharaj told, Rishabhadev told all his 100 sons that Bharat is the oldest, all of you be obedient to him and then rule the world. And then 10 of them are ruling the world. Other 81 of them became Brahmanas and 9 of them became Navayogendras. In this way, the whole family is a glorious family. So after Bharat Maharaj ruled the world, after he divided the property of the world to different sons, and then at a certain time he decided to retire and go to forest. While ruling also he ruled well, like he engaged Brahmanas in performing sacrifices for the pleasure of the Lord and welfare of all. You all know that, no? Annat bhavanti bhutani parjanyat anna sambhavaha yajnat bhavati parjanyo yajna karma samudbhavaha evam pravartitam chakram nanuvartayati hayah agayurendriya ramo mogham partasa jivati. Krishna is saying there is a dharma chakra cycle, like annat bhavanti bhutani. The living beings live on grains, but the grains cannot come unless there are rains. And rains cannot come unless yajnas are performed. And yajnas cannot be performed unless one is a devotee of the Lord. So they are all connected. In this way, the king arranged for yajnas to be performed by the Brahmins. And the Brahmins should perform yajna. And Bharat Maharaj was such an exalted devotee. When they were doing yajna for all the devatas, ultimately headed by Lord Vishnu, all these yajnas would begin with Hare Om, like that they would begin. Any mantra. Many names of the demigods will be taken. Sham no Mitra, Sham Varuna, Sham no Bhavat Paryamam, Sham Nayindro Brihaspatihi, Sham no Vishnu Rukramaha, Namaste Vayoho, Tvamevam Pratyaksham Brahmasi, Tvamevam Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami, Ritam Vadishyami, Satyam Vadishyami, Tanma Vavatu, Tat Bhaktaram Avatu, Avatu Mam, Avatu Bhaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. See, this is beginning with Harihi Om. There are also Vedic mantras which will end with Vishnum Paramam Padam, like that it will end. It has to begin or end with Lord Hari's names, which means Hari is the Lord and all devatas are his subordinates. Ekala Ishvara Krishna, Arasava Bhritya. So, he had the correct understanding. When the sacrifice was performed, he was thinking of Lord Hari. When the yajna would be done, Indraya Swaha Idam Namama, when they would say, immediately he will think of the hand of the Lord. Why? Because the presiding deity of the hand is Indra. Similarly, when they would offer ahuti to Surya, he will think of the eyes of the Lord. When they would offer ahuti for each of the devatas, like if they would offer for a Dig Devatas, he would think of the ears. If they would offer to Ashwini Kumaras, he would think of the nose. If they would offer to Agni, he would think of the mouth of the Lord. Because each presiding deity for our parts of our body, they are presided by. So he thought of the Lord's that particular part of the body. That which means they were offering sacrifices to devatas, but he was remembering Supreme Lord, Vishnu. Which means he was a pure devotee as a king. And then he considered the praja like his own children, like father would take care of children, like that he took care of the citizens very well. He perfectly performed his duty. At a certain time, he retired from the family and went to forest. Now, why should one go to forest? Hmm? What is the need? Prabhupada says nowadays politicians, until they are shot dead, they will not leave the post. Prabhupada is saying, huh? Yeah. Till the last breath, people want to continue, drag on the program, and there is always competition for power. There is power hungry people, money hungry people, many of the people. But actually, in the Vedic times, the kings were chosen by the Brahmanas, and they would rule the kingdom, and at a certain age, when they are 50, 60, they would retire and they would go to the forest. So there are 4 phases of life. 1 to 25 is called learn and grow. That's the first phase of life. Second phase of life is 25 to 50. It's called engage and earn. Third phase of life, 50 to 75, detach and attach. And the fourth phase of life, 75 to 100, pray and prepare. So you'll remember this. First 25, next 25, third 25, and fourth 25. Yeah. So once I was speaking on this topic, I asked the students, what is the meaning of learn and grow? They said learn means probably go to school, college, and grow means become fat so that new dresses will come. I said learn and grow. Learn and grow means learn spiritual knowledge. Kaumaram macharet prajno dharman bhagavataniha durlabam manusham janma tadapyadruvamartadam. That is learn. Learn spiritual knowledge. Right from the age of, that means we all are very late, isn't it? Better late than never. At the age of 5, we should start, Prahlad says. And learn and grow in what? Grow in maturity. What is maturity? When we go in spiritual maturity, we know to discriminate good from the bad, right from the wrong, beneficial from the harmful, what to do and what not to do. That is actual maturity. Maturity also means how to deal with all living entities without causing trouble to them. How to be helpful to living beings, how to facilitate them, and not intrude with other living entities unnecessarily, and not trouble other living entities. Understanding everything to be property of the Lord. So, dealing with the material energy and other spiritual living entities of the Lord, both very maturely, with the understanding that nothing in this world belongs to me. I am only a custodian of some material goods which are given to me by the Lord. Nothing belongs to me. Everything belongs to Krishna. In the same manner, all living beings are Lord's children, and we cannot harm them, hurt them, and we cannot dominate them, control them. They all are Lord's very dear part and parcels. So to have the right vision, this is maturity. Like how Prahlad dealt with his schoolmates. He induced them to become devotees by inspiring them, you see. And in this way, learn and grow. Then the second phase of life, okay, after you have learned, also learn and grow means to know what is matter, what is spirit, who is the controller of both. Nowadays, students passing out of engineering colleges, medical colleges, chartered accountants, people are unfortunately big ignoramus in spiritual knowledge. They have just no knowledge at all. Who we are, what this world is, who God is, why this world exists in the first place. Is it existing without any rhyme or reason? Or there is a goal of life? They just don't know. Unfortunately, they are graduating, probably they are graduating to earn some livelihood to fill up the belly. Earn a living, but they are not leading the life. They don't know how to lead the life properly. So, matter, Jada, and spirit, Chetan, and Ishwar, the controller of both. If you know this, then you have proper learning and knowledge. Otherwise, other education is just Jada Vidya, mundane education. That can probably fill up your belly. It cannot save your soul. If you want emancipation, if you want to go back to the original happy, everlasting blissful position from where we have fallen, then you need this knowledge. So that's real learning. So Learning also means culture. Matravat paradareshu paradravyeshu loshtravat atmavat sarvabhuteshu yap pashyati sapanditah. He says that to treat every woman other than one's own wife, one should treat every other woman as a mother. And one should not put hand in others' pocket to loot money. And one should not snatch others' property. And you should treat others the way you wish to be treated. So all this, Chanakya says that this is actually a Pandita. There is one more verse talks about Pandita. Vidya vinaya sampanne brahmane kavihastane shuni chaiva shvapake cha panditaha samadarshanaha. We should treat a cow or a elephant or a dog or a dog eater or a brahmana, all of them to be equal, seeing that in each of these bodies the same type of spirit soul is occupying these bodies. It's like saying one driver is driving the truck, one driver is driving Maruti, one driver is driving Luna. All these three vehicles have same type of driver. To see that similar type of soul is occupying these bodies. I can't harm even an ant also. That is one definition of Pandita. There is another definition of Pandita also given. Yasya sarve samarambha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dagda karmanam tamahu panditam buddhaha. Pandita is a disciple of a guru who does not have fruity mentality. He only lives to serve and please the guru with no expectation of any reward in return. Such a person's karmic reactions are burnt to ashes. He is a Pandita. He is a learned person. He simply wants to live for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. He is a Pandita also. So in this way, one should become a true Pandita. That is learn and grow. Correct, no? And then 25 to 50, what I told you? Engage and earn. So I asked, what is engage and earn? So the boy said, Prabhuji, I think in marriage they have engagement ring. Just get engaged in marriage. And then earn means you have to take a job, go to some IT company, take a job and make money. Otherwise, nobody will give you a daughter to marry if you don't have a job. Is it engage and earn? Such a superficial understanding, you see. Engage means engage in devotional service. Together with wife, husband and wife together engage. You have seen whenever people would do sacrifice, husband and wife would do together. You have seen that? And in your temple, whenever you do Gita Jayanti Yajna and all, families sit, correct, no? Yeah. Husband and wife are considered like, one soul in two bodies, like that. They are considered like that. They are one unit. So, husband and wife should engage in religious and devotional activities together and engage and earn means earn bhakti sukriti. Because punya and pap will get over. Punya will, if you go to heaven, Krishna says that, Te tam bhuktva sargalokam vishalam Kshene punye martyalokam vishanti. He says, when punya gets over, you come down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Come back to the earth. Similarly, if you have pap, you go to hell. -3, -2, -1, 0. Again you are back. Isn't it? Both get over. But what never gets over? Bhakti Sukriti. Therefore, engage and earn means earn that Sukriti which will never perish. Indeletable, undepletable. Bhakti, Sukriti, that should be earned. How do you do that? By worshipping the deities, by chanting the holy name, by studying Bhagavad Gita, serving the Vaishnavas. Name Ruchi, Jivadaya, Vaishnava Seva. You know these three? Krishnera samsar karo chadiya nachar. Krishnera samsar karo chadiya nachar. Jive daya Krishna naam sarva dharma sar. Jive daya Krishna naam. Jive daya Krishna naam sarva dharma sar. Jive daya. Nadiya Godru mein Nityananda Mahajan. Nadiya Godru mein Satiyate Naam Hatta Jivera Karana. Sadavan Jana hai, Sadavan Jana hai. Prabhura ajnaya vaye magiye diksha. Bolo Krishna bhajo Krishna karo Krishna shiksha. Bolo Krishna bhajo Krishna karo Krishna shiksha. Aparada shunna hoye loh Krishna naam. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Aparada Shunya Hoy Loh Krishna Naam. Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran. Krishna samsar karo chadi anachar. Vivedaya Krishna naam sarva dharma sar. Vivedaya Krishna naam sarva dharma sar. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nittai Gauranga Jaya, Nittai Gauranga. Nittai Gauranga Jaya, Nittai Gauranga. Jai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nittai Gaura Hari Bol. So in this song you get the essence of all religious principles. How a grihastha can engage and earn. They have to consider Krishna Mata, Krishna Pita, Krishna Dhana Pran. And Bolo Krishna means chant Hare Krishna. Bhajo Krishna means worship Krishna. Krishna Shiksha means Gita and Bhagavatam study. So in this way they have to engage and earn Bhakti Sukriti, which is a permanent asset they can carry with. And as they become 50 plus, then when they enter into Vanaprastha, in Tamil Nadu, South India, they do one second marriage, they call it, at the age of 60. They call it as a Shashti Abda Purti, when 60 years ends for the husband. So they do that 60th. So already one marriage is over. Second marriage with whom? With the same wife only. Second marriage also. Not that you marry one more. But what is this? The second marriage? The first marriage is for taking responsibility in the material world. And second marriage is for giving up responsibility in the material world. Because when the husband and wife become 60 or so, it's called as Ugra Ratha Shanti. From age of 25 to 60, it's called Ugra Rath. You know why Ugra Rath? It's called? Ugra means what? Ferocious. Because husband and wife, they climb the chariot of life and they have to solve this problem. You have to go to office and bring money, and the wife has to manage the small newborn baby. Quack, 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 quack. It's making sounds. And child is rating manners. She has to cook in the kitchen. She has to send the husband to office. And in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law sometimes is creating trouble. She has to manage them. She has her trouble and he has his trouble. It's Ugra Ratha, it's called. So how to make two ends meet, how to put up the home. Prabhupada says managing a home is more difficult than managing an entire empire. So it's called as Ugra Ratha. Lot of challenges. You have to bring money, sometimes money falls short. No matter how much money you bring, it falls short. It's like you have a tokri, you keep on putting water goods. It doesn't stay. Husband is wondering, what more job can I get, how to... So those people who have lived through family life, they can tell you more than me also. I only have watched. They have lived. They have experienced. They can tell you. You can ask any husband how difficult it is to satisfy wife, and ask wife how difficult to satisfy husband also. Both ways, not only one way. So you will see, to satisfy husband, wife, children, mother, father, in-law, mother-in-law, father-in-law, everybody is not very easy in this world. His Holiness Radha Govind Maharaj was telling, Param Pujya Radha Govind Maharaj, he said, इस दुनिया में कोई आपका बॉस है क्या कंपनी में जिसके हाथ में एक तुलसी दे दो वो तृप्त हो जाएगा? He said, everybody wants hard work in this world. Krishna says, just give me one tulasi, I will become. That is only possible in devotional service. So, therefore, Ugra Ratha. So, at the age of retirement, Ugra Ratha, Shanti. Shanti means what? That phase of life is over because children have grown up. Boy, sons and daughters have become grown up, they are married, they got jobs. They even take up father's business also, they run it. And father is relatively free. Therefore, companies also retire them because you go home and start take the japamala, get into spiritual life. They also give you free time. You have saved money also. So husband wife should do what they should do: detach and attach. What is this? Detach and attach. One fellow in Pune told me, I have 4 business I had. My 4 sons have taken away my 4 business. Swamiji, you told in the lecture that day, you have to detach. I became detached. I don't fight with them. I became detached. Therefore, I decided to attach to a new business now. Is it detach and attach? Detached from material life and attached to Krishna. That is the purpose. That's what he is doing now, Bharat Maharaj. He thought, enough of my ruling the kingdom of the world. I have been a king. People have been praising me, showering flowers upon me. When Raja comes, everybody will say, Bharat Maharaj, pada rahe hain. Dhan, dhan, dhan. They would beat him. And then people would shower flowers. Correct, no? Now he is in forest. There is nobody around. Occasionally you will see some bird will be chirping. Or some river is flowing. It's in an aloof place in the forest, in a serene setting, just chanting the holy name, absorbed in Lord Krishna, as you see in the picture. He's remembering Lord Vishnu. So the sun is powered by Surya. Surya is powered by Narayana. Lord Narayana's Shakti is invested in the Surya. Therefore, Surya is able to give light. So when he's doing Gayatri Mantra, he's meditating on Lord Narayana's form. So why is the Gayatri Mantra performed? To get steadiness in life. Because our mind is very unsteady, like a boat in the ocean. And one does Gayatri chanting, Gayatri purifies the mind, steadies the mind, sanctifies the mind, makes one focused. And then when one chants the Hare Krishna mantra, one awakens love for God by that. So in this way, he was chanting the Vedic mantras and he was also chanting Gayatri, living in the forest. He was detaching himself from the worldly encumbrances and are completely absorbed in Lord Krishna, because you have to detach from matter and attach to Krishna and increase that attachment over a period of time as you proceed. And then when one goes beyond 75, what did I tell you? Pray and prepare. So one should learn to pray, like you see, Brahma is praying, Nagapatnis are praying, Gajendra is praying, and Prahalad is offering prayers. So many great souls have offered wonderful prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam. I saw recently one book published by Delhi, our Sarvasakshi Prabhu has published a book on only Bhagavatam prayers. I think 1 or 2 volumes, bulky. All prayers put in one book. Very nice it is. So these prayers are worthy to study, and because they will help us to know how to glorify the Lord. These prayers are called Uttama Shlok. Uttama Shlok means choice poetry. These are springing from the heart of pure devotees with fervent devotion. So we should also study those prayers and learn how to pray to the Lord. Prabhupada said, chanting Hare Krishna means, oh Lord, purify me, elevate me, accept me. That is the meaning of this prayer. Purify my heart. I have been wandering in this world for millions of years. I have accepted so many contaminations in my heart of lust, anger, greed, pride, envy, illusion. Please cleanse my heart. The human form of life is meant only for one purpose, to cleanse the heart and go back to God. To purify the heart and go back to God. There's no other purpose of human life. I asked, what is the goal of human life? Somebody said, to become an engineer. Somebody said, to become a doctor. To become a child. Yes, you have to have some profession to earn your livelihood. If you have a family, wife, children, you need a job. But that is not the goal of life. That is for survival in this world. The goal of the soul is to go back to God, by purifying the heart. So Bharat was fully aware of that goal. Therefore he went to forest and he detached himself from unwanted things. So people sometimes fear religion or God. Why? They feel, oh, these fellows will tell us to give up. Actually, why they tell you to give up? They tell you to give up things which are giving you suffering. Correct, no? See, Prahlad Maharaj says, Maya Sukhaya Bharamud Bhato Vimudhan. He's saying. What is the bharam? See, bharam means bharam, weight. Like sometimes you see a donkey is carrying, clothes to the riverside. After washing the clothes, again he puts the heavy wet clothes on his back. And that is far more heavier than before. And he carries it. And what is his hope? The washerman has put one carrot in the front, dangled, which is also tied to his neck with a stick. And the donkey is thinking, if I go 1 foot ahead, I will catch the carrot. And as he goes 1 foot ahead, what happens to carrot? That goes 1 more foot ahead. Is he able to catch it? So he only has, future prospects, better prospects for the future. But he never gets it. This is called as happiness in view, but out of experience. That is material world. In material world, you will find, it's like you see honey inside a honey bottle, but you cannot taste it. That is material world. You can only observe happiness, but you want to enjoy it, it will miss from your hands. It's like that. It's like the reflection mango in the water. Can you eat a reflection mango? The real mango is in the spiritual world. In the material world, you get only reflection mango. So, Prahlad Maharaj is saying that all living beings in this world are taking big burden of material pleasures on their shoulders. My dear Lord, how they are suffering in this world, running on the rat race. He is telling. After running in the rat race, you remain a rat only. You don't make any progress. Whether you have money, or women, or buildings, or cars, or all the glitter and glamour of the world, at the end of the day, people are not peaceful, people are not happy. Recently, we made a survey, and the first world country like America and other countries, if you see, over the years, the gun sales has increased. Suicides have increased. Accidents, automobile accidents have increased. Number of criminal activities have increased. Animal killing has increased. So all these things are not a sign of happiness. You can see that people have a lot of money nowadays, even in India also. But the happiness and peace is missing because they have forgotten God or turned against God, and they are trying to chase after the mirage of material pleasure. That is the Dhanam Janam Sundarim. Hiranya and Kashipu. Hiranya means gold, Kashipu means attraction for the opposite sex. So these two are very prominent in modern day society also. People talk about money and people talk about man-o-man relationship. So this is the cause of the suffering. So Bharat Maharaj was intelligent. He understood the core of our heart is contaminated by these impurities, which have to be cleansed by taking in that which is supremely holy. And who is supremely holy? Lord Vasudeva. Lord Krishna is supremely holy. And how do you take him inside your system? By chanting of the holy name. So he prepared himself. He was praying to Lord Krishna like this and cleansing the heart. So here you see in the Pulahashrama, he attained very easily peace of mind and satisfaction because he became free from the material desires and engaged in varieties of devotional service. So I wanted to show you something very practical for the students here. Modern day students' head is like this. Right, no? Needless to explain anything more than this, correct? No? This is a situation filled with so many junk. So do you agree we have to cleanse the mind? So for that requires focus, you see. Hmm. Without focusing, just like you see, all the students are very attentive, right? Huh? Only when you focus, you can hear. Like you see, to pour oil from one teapot to another teapot, you need focus. You see, when you put from one teapot, gubuk, gubuk like that it comes. When it's coming, you look here, it will go outside. Correct, no? It requires focus. Similarly to welding, you need focus also. If you take very close, it just sticks. If you keep a little away, now no welding. So it requires focus and concentration. Similarly, Arjuna, amongst all the Pandavas and Kauravas, is considered the best for concentration and focus. One pointed concentration. When his Guruji asked him, "What do you see? Do you see the tree?" He said, "No." "Do you see the branches?" "No." "Do you see leaves?" "No." "Do you see me?" "No." "Then what do you see?" "Do you see the bird?" He said, "No." "What do you see?" "Only the eye." So that means he could focus very well. Even all of us can think in our lives. You have heard this statement many times that you should keep yourself in the present, not in the past or future. In case something happened in the past which worries you in the mind, say in one of the question papers you answered only 4 questions in the first page, you never turned the page, and the fifth question was in the second page. Although you knew it, you didn't write it. How many of you will come back from the exam and cry? Honestly. Correct. No? You knew the answer, but you didn't turn the page. You thought only 4 questions are there. So you lament. One boy was crying for 1 year. Can you imagine? Every day he will tell different friends and cry. I missed that one question. Although I knew it, I would have got sent home. I got only 80 or whatever. So what cannot be cured must be endured. So don't worry about the past. So don't invite suffering now, remembering the past. Similarly, don't fear about the future problem which is going to come now. Anyway, the problem will come and you'll suffer. That is another time. Why to bring the suffering now and suffer now? Correct now? So how can you keep yourself in the present? 3 questions you have to ask. What am I doing? Why am I doing? How am I doing? Ask these 3 questions. What am I doing? Like Arjuna is thinking, what am I doing now? I am sending the arrow now. Why am I doing? That's a purpose. How am I doing? That's a quality of work. Huh? So these are 3 things we should do. Like I'm chanting now. What am I doing in the morning? Sitting? Chanting japa. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, chanting. Huh? And why am I doing? Because the goal of human life is to cleanse the heart. Therefore I am doing. And how am I doing? Am I concentrating or not? That is how am I doing. Okay, if you understand that I am not concentrating, what I should do? Huh? Bring it back. Yeah, bring it back. So these 3 questions will help us to focus at the present. So therefore Arjuna did not miss the target. He exactly hit the target. So here you can see the magnifying glass, if it is kept at a focal point, it can burn the paper or cotton, isn't it? So see, if you take a magnifying glass and you shake it like this, will it be able to burn the paper? Our mind is shaking or not when we are chanting? Mind is going too many places. Then how can we get concentration? So we have to make the mind still and just focus on hearing of the holy name. And that is what Bharat Maharaj did when he went to forest. He withdrew his mind from unwanted clutter. He took his mind away from matter, clutter over matter. And then he focused it on the holy name. Like same thing Dhruva Maharaj did. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Who chanted this? Dhruva. And he became purified. Do you agree he went to forest with some material desires? Correct? And then over a period of time of chanting holy name, his material desires got cleared. They vanished, purified. So he told the Lord, Kacham Vichenvana Pidhivi Ratnam Swamin Kritartosmi Varam Na Yache. I don't want any material benedictions. I'm just pleased with, the darshan, he said. So in this way, that means his heart got purified. He must have focused very well. He must have made the mind still and focused. So mind becomes agitated when we add material desires to the mind. Like if you add a virus to the computer, computer gets agitated, correct now? It just opens any file without your permission. Or the computer is hanging, correct now? When you put the virus. But when you reformat the computer completely, virus is gone, then the computer functions in a very healthy way. Correct, no? Same thing with our mind. If you're going to put the virus of material desires, then the mind is going to go crazy. But if you remove the viruses, mind is clean, you will become very cheerful. Huh? You will become very peaceful. Initially peaceful, eventually cheerful. Huh? Just like a room, if you are eating prasadam and it is not washed, dal, rice, everything is sticking to ground, you come running inside with your barefoot. When you put it on the rice or dal, you feel nice. How uneasy you feel. Hey, you guys haven't cleaned the room. Huh? On the other hand, think about throwing water or phenol or Dettol something and completely washing the room, and then you take a wiper and clean it and put on the fan, it's dried. Spick and span it looks, isn't it? That looks, everybody feels very nice when they come. Similarly, unclean heart cannot make you happy. A clean heart can make us happy. See, what is the difference between mind and heart? Mind is called, there are two minds. One is called conscious mind. Another one is called subconscious mind. So subconscious mind is called reflective mind. And conscious mind is called reactive mind. It's superficial conscious mind. Conscious mind, subconscious mind, correct, no? This is called heart. This is called mind. Reflective mind or subconscious mind is called chitta. We call it heart, we call it. So what is the difference between mind and heart? In mind, you think of the past, you think of the future. Worries of the past, fear of the future. You worry about the past. If only I did that. If only you think. And for the future, you think, what if that happens? What if exam paper becomes tough? That is about future. So when mind is cluttered with past and future worries, it is called reactive mind. Mind keeps reacting. Anxieties everywhere. There are multiple anxieties pulling our head. Therefore, we are not able to chant. So, and subconscious mind has other problems like revengeful attitude, hatred, or attachment. Kaikeyi's attachment to making the son the king. Dhritarashtra's attachment to making his son the king, isn't it? Kritadyuti's wives, co-wives, they were having hatred for her and the child, isn't it? So hatred, revengeful thoughts, attachments, these are all residing in the heart. Raga and dvesha, we call it. That's much more deeper than conscious mind also. So both impurities are there at the mind and the heart, and they can be detected, recognized, and cleansed completely by chanting Krishna's holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare. So this should be done in a prayerful mood. Oh Lord Krishna, oh Vasudeva, oh please kindly, you are the supreme. I am an insignificant speck in your lotus feet. Please purify my heart. Please elevate my mind. I wish to see my mind, residence for you to come and live. The divine couple, Radha Madhava, to come and live in our heart. That's why in those days we used to sing a song. मेरे मन मंदिर में एक बार तुम आ जाओ गिरिधारी गिरिधारी वनवारी मनमोहन कुंज विहारी प्यारी आ जाओ गिरिधारी. So you understand the meaning now? Oh my dear Lord, please come and reside. Another Bhaktivinoda Thakur song also similar. Mama mana mandire rahani shire Krishna Murari Krishna Murari Mama mana mandire rahani shire Krishna Murare, Krishna Murare, Bhakti Priti Mala Chandan, Bhakti Priti तुम्हें नियो है नियो चित्तनंदन। जीवन मरण तव पूजा निवेदा, सुंदर है मनहारे। हे तो नंद कुमार आनंद कुमार, नंद कुमार आनंद तवे प्रेम प्रदीपे आरती कुमार। नयन यमुना जरया निवार, तुम्हारा विरह गिरिधारी। चंदन गाने तव भजो जीवा, कृष्ण मुरारी श्री कृष्ण मुरारी। वंदन गाने तव भजो जीवा, कृष्ण मुरारी श्री कृष्ण मुरारी, कृष्ण मुरारी श्री कृष्ण मुरारी। So this song has similar meaning. Oh Krishna Murari, please come and reside in my heart day and night. And I'll offer you, lamplight of my love. I'll offer you chandan, I'll offer you garland. Actually, if you have a very simple heart, simple mind, this kind of bhakti can quickly be practiced without much difficulty. But recently one boy asked a question in my travels. But you keep saying simple. What is the meaning of simple? I said, first you understand what is complicated. That is very easy for you to understand. Complicated means crooked. Crooked means to think, I am the center of everything. Actually, we are so insignificant. One tiny coronavirus shook the whole world for last 3-4 years. Whole pandemic. There was one cartoon I saw where all the people are inside their homes with the masks and looking through the windows, and all the animals in the zoo are wandering in the road. And they are watching people as if they are inside cage. They had put a cartoon. Was it true or not? Last 2-3 years. Like, and man is so proud of his advancement. One tiny virus you can't even see with eyes, and that is shaking the whole world. So simplicity means to understand Krishna is in control, and I am insignificant. This earth is not even a speck in the whole of millions of universes. So, in this way, the purpose of chanting is to cleanse the heart. Bharat Maharaj went to forest, chanted the holy name, meditated on Lord Krishna, his pastimes, and he was getting purified. So, we have to feed our mind and fence our mind. Let us see what we should feed our mind. See? You have another mic? No, you don't have one more mic. Feed your mind with good, clean, pure, powerful and positive vibrations. What you should feed your mind? Good, clean, pure, powerful and positive. What is that which fits this description? You see, in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that watering the plant is equivalent to our hearing and chanting in spiritual life. Our bhakti lata is like a creeper. Our bhakti is very tender. If you want to make your bhakti mazboot, like you see a mango tree is a sapling in the beginning. You know sapling? You can easily uproot it. But if you keep watering it, it grows and becomes a big mango tree. It becomes thick. You can't even shake it. It becomes strong. If you want to make your bhakti very strong, you have to do hearing and chanting. That means two things. I have shown you two pictures here. If you see the left top, Guru is instructing disciple. This is one type of hearing. Guru gives knowledge to disciple, like Prabhupada is giving through his books, and you're also hearing from your mentors. So you're hearing the knowledge. That is one of the ways you nourish your devotional creeper, Bhakti Lata. Another way you nourish your Bhakti creeper is this picture below. You see a devotee is chanting Hare Krishna for the divine couple. This is another hearing. So hearing the holy name, hearing the holy fame. These two things are the real food for the soul, we can say. That means studying Gita, Bhagavatam and other books of Prabhupada and also chanting the holy name. This is actually the spiritual nourishment. So you become very strong in spiritual life by this. And Kaviraj Goswami says, if you don't read these spiritual literatures, you start feeling weak in spiritual life. On Ekadashi day, you have seen some of you feel little weak on Ekadashi day because you don't eat grains. When you eat grains, you feel very strong. Similarly, when you do reading, chanting, you feel very strong. Also, we need emotional care also. You see, the sun's warmth is required for the plant. Is it not? Otherwise, how the chlorophyll, photosynthesis and all will happen, correct? No? Similarly, in spiritual life, you need seniors who are affectionate to you, who are concerned about you, to whom you are accountable, and their warmth is carrying you forward. Or it attracts you to come back to the temple and meet the devotees. And there is somebody in my life whom I can fall back upon if I have any difficulty, and they will give me guidance and they will give me direction. And they are completely, free from any fruitive mentality. They don't want anything from me. They just want to see me flourish in my spiritual life. They are like my well-wishers, well-wishing superiors. So Krishna has sent such well-wishers in my life. So by their guidance, I can flourish in my life. You have that confidence. So you get that support, emotional support from them. Also, you also need a society to live in. For example, sometimes boys, girls, in their colleges, they feel that we are only handful of devotees. So many people are non-devotees. So they tease us, or ridicule us, or challenge us. How do we survive? But if you have a circle of devotees around you, it's very easy to practice. What I used to do in my college days, every class at least has 10-20% pious people. You agree? Correct, no? So you post two pious people on either side of you. They're like Jai Vijay, they'll bodyguard. And they will always keep talking nice things in your ears. I had one boy this side. He will always talk Vishnu Sahasranam. When the teacher is late for the class, he will tell, I'll tell you one name of 1,000 names. And he will tell me the meaning also. And this fellow, he was always Sanskrit, for him, Patata Sanskritam, Vadata Sanskritam. So he said, I am going to become a Sanskrit propagator. So these two fellows will be feeding nice vibrations to me. So what is my intelligence? To keep these two fellows on my side. Correct, no? So then you have no problem. Although the classroom is big and there are 150, 200 students there, nobody can disturb me because I have posted the right people next to me. Correct, no? So we all need such social support around us. And physical care is a sand which catches the plant. Similarly, our physical body also should be healthy. Then only we will be able to. So, like it is said, a healthy mind and a healthy body, it is said. If body is sick, then the mind is also worried. What is going to happen? My body is not cooperating. Mind also gets worried. So, body and mind are connected. So, have a healthy body, have a healthy mindset by having, peer association and then superior warmth also, and then spiritual nourishment. All these things put together can keep your body, mind, soul stable. So, in human life, you can inquire about all these things. You can study the wisdom literature, you can chant Maha Mantra, you can discriminate right from the wrong, you can pick up good habits, drop bad habits, and you can know the difference between what is moral, immoral, and ethical, all these things. Spirituality and goal of human life. So, till now I told you about the feeding the mind, correct, no? Feeding the good things like, spiritual care, emotional care, physical care, all that. Now, what do we fence the mind from? Bad, unclean, impure, weakening and negative inputs. We should avoid. Therefore, we have to be, just like, if you have a gutter which is stagnated, a lot of mosquitoes come there. Correct, no? Because that becomes a breeding place for the mosquitoes. Whereas, you will see that if there is a pure lake, then the Manasarovar lake, swans will come and live there. Or you have a beautiful temple like this, But pious-minded people who are eager to advance in spiritual life, they come and throng the place. Say, you open a liquor shop, those guys want to drink, they will come there. You will see that tamoguni, rajoguni, sattoguni ambience you create, those people will come to those places. Like if you have a dustbin, all the crows will come and sit there. You will see. They will all have a meeting around the dustbin. Huh? Isn't it? Pulling out dirty things like that. So these are also tamoguni creatures. Tamoguni creatures. Sattoguni creatures like cow. Cow will die, but she will never eat flesh, or meat. Cow will only eat grass. Let's see, that's a sattoguni creature. So, similarly, if you want to fence your mind, you should know what are the rajoguni, tamoguni items that you should fence yourself from. Keep away from. If you really want to advance in spiritual life. See here, you have to fence the plant from the wind. See how the wind is blowing. And also you have to fence the plant from goat eating. Correct, no? Goat should not put the mouth. Yeah. Isn't it? Like this, the fencing is required. Let us see what fencing we can see. We have to fence from social media. See? He's saying, how do you know social media is affecting your life? Is it distracting you from your studies? Or are you, like many people are having a TV at home. Why? There are so many problems in the world. They just put on the TV to forget the problems. They can get into watching some movie or anything. Are you cyber bullied? See the word he's using, cyber bullied. Cyber bullied means you are flatly knocked down on the ground and somebody catches you by the leg and drags you on the road. Can you imagine? How many students are feeling that they are dragged by the media, not able to keep the smartphone down, not able to study for the exams. They are being dragged by pop-ups, dragged by beep sounds. They are cyber bullied. One boy said, Prabhu, if anywhere I go, if Wi-Fi is there, I am dead. That's how I am finished. Why this Wi-Fi is everywhere, Prabhuji? Why Wi-Fi? Everywhere. Somebody should destroy this Wi-Fi, he was telling. See, you can't destroy Wi-Fi, but you can save yourself. Correct? Everywhere you go nowadays, nowadays they give connectivity in buses also they give. In buses also, everywhere they give, correct now? There's special connectivity. So you connect and then you become cyberbullied. You spend more time online than with family and friends. That is another symptom. There are people in the same house sitting in two different rooms with their own media gadgets. They don't talk to each other. And they are having some distant friend somewhere, another part of the globe. You can see that. Train also, you can see people, everybody sitting with their smartphone, sitting next to you. They don't even look at each other. That's what he's saying. Feeling of anxiety, depression, loneliness. So all these things are affecting our mental health. So this is what we have to fence ourselves from. How do we do that? I don't know whether you are aware, there is one video which shows that the Facebook company owner and all these people, their children, they don't allow them to use Facebook. You know that? Facebook company owner doesn't allow his children to use Facebook. Yes, he says, I don't want to trouble their lives, he says. He only wants to trouble the world. So they are very smart. Such parents, they have put parental control also for use of smartphones. Those are all very allied people are very shrewd because they know we want our children to become great men like us. Like, Apple and, the Mong companies, no? Meta, Apple and Netflix. And then which is the other one? Amazon and Google. So these fellows, they want their sons and daughters to become their successors, so they don't let them waste their time in social media. You can see that. They are smart. So we have to have a restriction. In a day, only this many hours, 1 or 2 hours, we will use it. Other time, just keep it inside. Unnecessarily don't waste your time in that. See, focus is lost by distracted eyes. See, this is the problem. So, therefore, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, he says, sit erect, he says, Shijodeje pratishtapya siramasaram na utritam na atinicham chaila janakushottaram tatra ekagram mana krutva. He says that ekagrata, if you want, one pointed, you have to sit erect. If you sit bent, you go to sleep, he says. So sit erect, he says. And also he says, The two eyes should be focused on the tip of the nose, he says. Of course, some people find it headache to focus on the tip of the nose. It may be difficult. I close one of the eyes and with one eye I focus on the tip of the nose. Actually, if the two eyeballs are resting in this near the nose, then you cannot see other things. You can't get you can't get distracted at all. And once you can, because eyeballs, if you don't rest them, see, this fellow's eyeballs are not resting, it just goes around, correct? No? If you rest the eyeball, then you can concentrate very well. When you utter the holy name, then you can hear very well. If you rest the eyeball. But many times we find when boys chant, they look around who is doing what, who is coming in, who is going out, who is sleeping, who is awake. Their mind is commenting, running commentary mind is giving. Correct, no? Then can we concentrate? It's very difficult. So, know this secret. There are only two powerful distractors, eyes and the ears. See, this is ears. This is also eyes. See here. Poor teacher, huh? Everybody is into their... everybody is super busy with their own media, I see. And this is ears. Sometimes our ears catch and take us away, correct, no? Sometimes people say, no, oh, my mind has been elsewhere, she's saying. See? That means, people are standing right next to you, but they have been listening to something else. So distracted eyes and distracted, these two only we have to avoid. Therefore, I really don't like a sound. If anybody else's sound is affecting my chanting, then I will sit in a place where I can hear my own chanting very well. Some people sit right next to you and put their sound directly into your ears. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So then you can't hear your own chanting. So once one boy was sitting next to me like that. Then from here I went and sat there. There also came and sat next to me. Because I didn't want to hurt him. If I tell him that you are making sound, he will feel bad. So instead of telling him to go away, I went away. He's coming behind me. 3 places I changed. Finally I asked, why are you coming with me? He said, Prabhuji, I want your association. I said, you can take association after chanting. Now let us be separated now. You be there, I'll be here. So, we need to hear whose sound? Some people put Prabhupada very loud. And then they are thinking, who is chanting? You are chanting or Prabhupada is chanting? See, you can put Prabhupada sound for inspiration purpose. But later on, you should reduce the volume. Then we should hear who is chanting? Our own chanting we should hear. So, these eyes and ears, see, recognizing the mind menace, if you see, how to put a boundary between ourselves and negative people, you see. So many negativities are all around us. So if you can concentrate in chanting very well, you can easily cut off from the negativities around you. Similarly, how to be less distracted, how to be more focused, and have increased concentration in studies and everything else. How to relax the mind from day-to-day work. See, so many things he has got to do. Everybody, man has controlled even lions and elephants also. But only one thing has failed to control his own mind. He has become a slave of his lust, anger, greed and all these things. So, therefore, the problem is where the soul is covered by mind and body. The soul has a mind and a body. Mind is for storing desires and body is for executing desires. So, as you see here, we have acquired this red color qualities in the mind, which have to be, innate qualities are pure of the soul, but the soul is covered by mind. Mind has all the problems. The mind is like a stinking socks. Nobody will appreciate if you come with a stinking sock. They'll say, get out. Stinking. We are not stinking, but the socks is stinking. So we have to clean the mind. See, these are bad habits due to unclean mind. When mind is unclean, one wants to eat like anything. Or one wants to sleep in the day also. Or nowadays people, even rich people, drink and they ruin their health. See, now everybody, you can see so many people, boys, girls coming from good families are smoking nowadays. So this way, companies are worried about taking in people who have such habits because productivity is lost. Somebody cannot be a professional, he gets into unnecessary affairs. Somebody. Mm. See, this fellow quarrels with everybody. Some people have that tendency. So in this way, the mind is as strong as a wind to control. Mind is difficult to control. Who says this? Chanchalam himana Krishna pramati balavadridham tasyaham nigraham manye vayuri vasudushkaram. It's like Vayu, he says. Our mind is like a mad elephant. See, it's lifting the whole bike. See? How much power mind and how much power the elephant has, you can see. See, it is not an exaggeration. We can see how much our mind is very similar to this elephant. Pramati, he says. It is Pramati means mad. It's very, very strong. Actually, sometimes we find why youths commit suicide, because sometimes mind can overpower them. Especially mind overpowers because of impurities. If just like if you have a balloon with helium and you have not tied it, it just flies up, correct now? But if you remove that gas, then the balloon is lying down. Similarly, mind also, when the impurities are removed, mind is very peaceful. When the impurities are loading the mind, then the mind becomes uncontrolled, like this mad elephant. But why mind is compared to the elephant, I'll tell you. Elephant is a trainable animal. Can you walk a tiger or a lion on the road? By training them, can you walk? Deadly, nobody will walk them. But you can walk an elephant, agreed? You will see it's a good elephant, see?
It's so huge.
Even children can play with the elephant, you see?
Food. Okay, do it, Dave. In his nose. He's got a nose full of money. Okay, get under there. There you go. Okay, Rach, you're up. Yeah, nice.
See, so many children around the elephant. See, the elephant practicing, elephant drawing elephant. See, one flower. So, sometimes the elephant even carries a lot on the back, correct, no? You have seen that? So I showed you bad elephant, mad elephant and a good elephant also now, correct, no? So now it's time up, but I'll quickly show you the things, many of things you know. So we all have a battle with our mind, because impure mind is like the red fellow. You see that fellow? So the angel-like behavior and animal-like behavior, both we have, correct, no? So Bharat Maharaj went to forest to awaken that angel within him, bringing out that angel within us and drive out the animal within us. So this mind and intelligence always have a tug of war. I heard in America, one fellow, America generally people don't go in scooter. Everybody has a car. But sometimes they drive scooter to go fast. So one fellow was going in a scooter, but his cap flew off. Then he stopped the scooter and started running behind the cab. And so many cars are going zoom, 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 zoom like this. So if mind overpowers him, he will focus on the traffic or on the cab. If intelligence prevails, reason prevails, then he'll focus on which is important. To safeguard his life when the traffic is moving fast is important, or getting the cap is important. Correct, no? But sometimes we all have experience. For a trivial thing, we cause a big loss. That is because the mind overpowers us. So therefore, like here also, smoking is a habit, bad habit, but the mind sometimes may overpower a youngster. But here, when intelligence overpowers, therefore, you will see that the example of this is given in Kathopanishad. The soul can be peaceful if you strengthen the intelligence. How do you strengthen your intelligence driver? By study of the scriptures like Gita, Bhagavatam. When you study, you get the discrimination power. What is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad. And then with the strengthened intelligence, you can control the mind and the senses, the ropes and the horses. Please repeat this. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Asamshayam Mahabaho Manodur Nigraham Chalam Abhyasena tu Kaunteya Vairagyena cha Krihyate. Two things Krishna says, by feeding and fencing, Abhyasa and Vairagya. Two things he is saying. By practice and by detachment. So what is the practice purpose is? The first and foremost practice is hearing spiritual wisdom of Gita. Hear, absorb and apply the learnings. That is very powerful. Transcendental method for purging the mind of all misgivings and impurities. Hear, absorb and apply, he says. And what is the detachment? By detaching the mind from useless and harmful activities that increase mind's instability, one can very easily learn Vairagya. That means we have to post a watchman in our senses. Yes to Krishna and no to Maya. Correct, no? That's what we have to do. So, like you see, Dhruva Maharaj is hearing from Narada. He is actually feeding his soul. And then this is fencing, like, avoiding the four sinful activities. Dyutam, Panam, Sriya, Sona, Yatra, Adharmascha Trivida. Illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication and gambling. So, he did practice and detachment. I'll finish with this slide, I think, because it's getting late. See, there was one boy who was studying in a Gurukula. His Gurukul teacher told him that you are a muff, you better go home. We can't accommodate you. On the way back, he saw one lady drawing water from a well, and the rope was making an impression on the stone. So this boy was surprised. How is it that a soft rope, coil, is able to make impression on a hard stone? That's because of repeatedly pulling it. Immediately went back to Guruji and said, please give me an opportunity to study in the Gurukula again. I will prove myself. So he was given chance. So he very nicely practiced repeatedly. And then he went on to become Kalidas, who wrote Kumara Sambhava and all that. That means practice makes a man perfect, we say that. So chanting also is a repeated practice. Daily you do it. Eventually you will get mantra siddhi. You will get the power to chant very nicely. So like ant going over a stone makes a line. Or in a forest pathway, sometimes people walk and both sides grasses grow, in between they don't grow because of repeatedly going. So therefore Krishna tells Arjuna that mind is difficult to control but not impossible. Mind can be controlled by practice of chanting and practice of hearing, staying with devotees, increasing sattva guna. And by these things, the mind can be purified and mind can be... Actually, the mind's craziness or madness or running is increased by increasing impurities. As you reduce impurities, the mind reduces its speed also. As you come from Rajoguna, Tamaguna to Sattva, mind becomes more mild, more calm, more easy to deal with after that. Similarly, the detachment means actually we have to detach ourselves from things which may be pleasurable but harmful. Like for example, cocoa chocolate is pleasurable to eat, but if you eat too much, all your tooth will be lost. Correct, no? Children lose their teeth because of eating cocoa chocolates and you get disease in the teeth and then you have to go for a tooth extraction, which will be very painful. Correct, no? Similarly, in eating, one has to know how much to eat. I saw one man in the train, he was an old man, but all family members are eating samosa. So he also ate a lot of samosa. He ate like a dozen samosas. Next day morning he was screaming, ah! So while eating he was enjoying, but later he was suffering. That's the nature of material pleasures. Initially they'll give you little enjoyment, later on they'll punch on the nose. Therefore, we have to detach ourselves from so-called pleasurable but miserable enjoyments. And that is detachment. Therefore, Prabhupada, based on Bhagavatam, prescribes the 4 regulative principles. When we follow the 4 regulative principles strictly, then we follow the principles of, this match formula: mercy, austerity, truthfulness, cleanliness, holy name. So you follow pure principles, mind becomes pure very fast. If you don't kill animals, you become merciful. If you don't smoke or drink or take drugs, then you develop austerity. And if you avoid illicit sex, then you are clean in body and mind. And if you don't gamble or speak lies, then you are truthful. So when you cultivate these sublime qualities like mercy, austerity, truthfulness, cleanliness, then your mind becomes very pure. So you become pure in habits, you become pure in mind, then pure in speech, and then your chanting becomes very easy to concentrate when we follow these things. So otherwise, if you don't do these things, this is the situation. See the poor driver, the situation. He has no control. So therefore, I was telling about the mantra meditation. So mantra meditation. This is the David Brian Wolf has done research on the thesis on the chanting of the holy names. This is another one I found recently. Neurologist study shows Mahamantra could help anxiety and schizophrenia. Can you imagine? Schizophrenia means a group of people are targeting me, they are going to attack me. That kind of imaginative fear. Imaginative fears are removed by chanting. This is done in Detroit. Is written below, you see. Vivek Baluja, a neurologist at Henry Ford Hospital in Detroit. Like this, there are more than 25-30 international papers now published on chanting of the holy name now. Probably it's going to become chanting of holy name may be prescribed in the colleges and universities very soon. There's a likelihood. Like in UCLA, University of California, they have a music meditation club. Every week they come together, half an hour to 1 hour, they have kirtans, 60, 70 boys and girls come for that. The club only is called Music Meditation Club. Yeah. So in this way, there are many things we can say. Okay, now we'll stop with this. It's getting late now. Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. You want to announce about Prasad? They know it?
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So I'd like to thank Prabhuji by 3 times loudly chanting Vivo! 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 And now we will be having our next classes at different venues. All of you might have seen up on the notice board on the 4th floor. So you can go to your respective venues. The classes will begin at 11 o'clock. Hare Krishna.